Hello everybody and welcome to Amphlett Reviews, back with another test disc review for some Hong Kong content and some Jackie Chan goodness for the upcoming release on the 29th of June 2026. Arrow Video's Jackie Chan Breakout Hit Collection, breaking into that vault of New Line / Warner Brothers collaboration to produce and present on brand new 4K restorations with brand new special features worldwide. Cannot wait to officially own it in June coming up. I have been given and blessed with the test discs, early access. I've already talked about Thunderbolt in terms of one of the films I didn't get a chance to see in terms of his filmography, and now we're on Mr. Nice Guy, released in 1997, directed by Sammo Hung himself, which is a film we haven't covered on the channel. We have a double disc included in this box set, which has the first disc is the Japanese and Hong Kong version cut. We also have a second disc, which is the international version. It's nice to have options, and it's nice to kind of see what was presented initially and versus what we were missing prior, which is definitely the case for a lot of these movies on this box set. As already mentioned, Mr. Nice Guy was released in 1997, directed by Sammo Hung, another partnership and collaboration with those two, which I think is wonderful. It's always great to see those two kind of pair up to make a really fun movie. If I'm not mistaken, they haven't done a film like this, if I'm not mistaken, since Dragons Forever, leading up to him breaking into the West from doing Thunderbolt and then going straight into First Strike, and then doing this film, which is Mr. Nice Guy breaking into Australia. Sammo Hung gets a little cameo in the film, which is a really fun little kind of little extra. Before diving into the film, there are 3 different cuts of the film as mentioned, and you're probably wondering which one should I watch first, maybe for a first time viewing, maybe for a second, maybe you haven't watched this film in quite some time. If you did pick up the initial Warner Brothers release, which is the one I had a little bit of time ago, which featured the Hong Kong and the extended cut version, there were the two kind of primary ones. This one features 3 different cuts. Arguably, the international version is the one you're not going to watch. It is the more Western centered version, 88. It's about 10 to 11 minutes kind of shorter. It kind of takes away a lot of the more the violence and has a different opening and takes away some of the little bits here and there. It doesn't massively alter the film that much, if I'm being completely honest, in terms of the story and direction. It just makes it a little bit tighter, a bit faster paced. With the Japanese and Hong Kong version, it's pretty much apples and oranges. You know, it's very similar in terms of, you know, it's the same fruit. It's just slightly altered here and there. I will put an image right here which shows you a bit of a breakdown in terms of what you're going to get with the cuts of the films. I personally think the Japanese extended version is the way to go. 97 minutes, it opens up with the villain killing one of the kind of like informants that's infiltrated his kind of group. Pretty nasty kind of little opening, and then cut straight into the kind of Jackie Chan kind of chef TV special, where I believe in the Hong Kong and in the international version, it just cuts straight into that kind of opening sequence. So I think personally the Japanese version is the way to go. It has all the violence put back in, some of the swearing, some of the more villainous stuff that just happened, and just retains the kind of version of the film that was initially intended. I just think it's a better cut personally. However, it is down to you as a viewer to see which one you prefer. Maybe check out all 3, decide for yourself. In terms of the film itself, and something that the extras definitely kind of back up in terms of my thinking and kind of my thought process while watching this one, it definitely is an interesting one in terms of Jackie Chan's kind of filmography and what he was doing in terms of his lineup. Australia, South Africa later on with Who Am I, and then obviously having a massive breakout hit with Rush Hour, with New Line Cinema later on. So definitely was the peak of a lot of Jackie Chan projects being kind of released back to back to back, and just him kind of upping the ante with the stunt work. Less about the fights as much, even though there is a lot of fighting in this film. There is loads of fighting and some excellent choreography, but there is definitely a sense of a upping the ante in terms of the stunt work, having bigger vehicles, destroying houses, having a lot of set locations in terms of across Australia on the street, and just having some really complicated kind of, you know, dangerous stunts that can easily go wrong. Jackie Chan was really kind of selling his persona of being Jackie Chan, even though his character name in the film is Jackie as well, being a local chef TV kind of personality, or also is a fantastic fighter, an acrobatic kind of martial artist going against kind of these 2 rival gangs. It's pretty wacky, it's pretty fun, and definitely fits into that kind of model that he's been kind of crafting and getting better and better, and just kind of, you know, presenting the same type of package but just tweaked and altered and, you know, placed in a different location. I think with Rumble in the Bronx, definitely with First Strike, and now Mr. Nice Guy, it's very similar in terms of local gangs and international kind of martial artists. You got Richard Norton as the bad guy in this film. In terms of the story, to give you an idea what the story is for Mr. Nice Guy, a bad guy in Australia, Richard Norton, which is great, a kind of a legendary martial artist who's been in countless films in Hong Kong cinema with Sammo Hung, and obviously he died not too long ago, which is unbelievably tragic and sad, but left behind a wonderful career with behind the scenes, working on like films like Suicide Squad, doing some of the action choreography stuff in there, and also collaboration with Jackie, collaboration with Sammo Hung. Many great films. Absolutely recommend his filmography and his contribution to that kind of genre in that field if you get a chance to. But he's a great villain in this one, really funny, really hammering it up. Over the top kind of, you know, slimy drug dealer villain. Has a pretty nasty opening sequence where he kills off an informant if you watch the Japanese version. And essentially, you've got his deal goes wrong with a rival gang, which I want to say is the Red Dragon, if I'm not mistaken. A local kind of, I want to say biker gang, a bit of a kind of punk rock kind of, you know, gang, which have basically stolen his drugs. They have the cash, the deal goes wrong, and they start shooting each other and kind of killing each other off. There is a local TV reporter that captures the footage on a big chunky ass camera, and basically they try and chase after her to get that videotape and to stop her. She runs into Jackie Chan, of course, a local TV chef celebrity, which is just kind of, you know, one place, one time, the everyday normal guy, quote, and stumbles across this kind of back and forth rival gangs between Richard Norton and the Red Dragon gang about this tape and trying to help this woman, while also dealing with some internal conflict that's happening as well, and essentially just gets wrapped up in this kind of bigger kind of, you know, event between these two gangs, and he has to involve in the police, and then there's other women characters who do get involved, which leads into both gangs trying to find him, to find this hidden tape, which has been accidentally swapped over with a local TV reporter, and again, hilarious ensue happens. At this point onwards, you get a series of wonderful on-location stunt-based work, fighting, some incredible Jackie Chan just kind of putting himself out there on the line, mixing it up, doing some pretty interesting kind of back and forth. The story is very simple and minuscule. It's not there to be anything kind of groundbreaking. It's a very, you know, a launch pad kind of idea, but a collection of women which he kind of intertwines with, one being the more damsel in distress, one being the more feisty kind of, you know, Australian, one being a bit more of a family friend, and a partial love interest in one of them or two of them. It's not very clear. The love interest in these films aren't particularly that great. That's something that I think is pretty apparent with most of Jackie Chan's kind of filmography, and continues on that traditional semi-misogynistic kind of viewpoint of women in the film. Some are pretty good, some are not. You know, it is a very kind of, you know, Jackie has to kind of do everything for them in terms of the escape sequence, and then some of the fight sequence later on. How their reactions are compared to what's happening is very kind of timid or scared or doing from comic relief. And, you know, it's forgivable to some extent because it is just a bit of lighthearted fun, you know, and it's something that he's done time and time again. Absolutely with Armor of God 2, with that has a very kind of similar kind of process in there with international kind of female actresses and models, and Hong Kong actresses as well joining the mix. All comedy and situations at times to the expense of these women, but Jackie Chan is the lovable everyday guy, quote, who has to kind of save them and kind of, you know, kicks some ass. And the one thing I will say, it's a bit of a shame that the kind of the persona that he goes about in this one in terms of being a local television chef doesn't really play more into the film. I thought that could have been like a kitchen sequence, or could have been something that could have landed a bit more into the kind of comedy later on. I think it's just there to kind of show he's just in Australia as a chef, and you don't really get to see much of that kind of identity. Ultimately, Mr. Nice Guy delivers exactly what I want. Classic, good, fun Jackie Chan film for an hour and a half. It delivers on the action, the stunts, the comedy. Supporting characters are pretty fun as well. The story is nothing to be, you know, right home about, nothing to get too excited, but it serves the purpose of the film very well, and it's paced, delivered, and executed very well. Now, in terms of the special features for Mr. Nice Guy, we have a brand new audio commentary by James Mudge, which does quite a few audio commentaries across this box set and many others in terms of Shout Factory and 88. So definitely an interesting one to kind of check out and see what you think. Audio commentaries are self-explanatory. We also have part 5 of the Breakout kind of documentary, which is split up into multiple different parts across this box set. This one is about 8 to kind of 9 minutes, different kind of multiple interviews from different people, from James Mudge himself, David West, and then we have Mars, which is one of the stunt actors who stunted for Jackie Chan, all delivering little snippets and pieces of information about Mr. Nice Guy, which kind of backs up what this film has to offer, which I think was very much on the money, in line of what I was thinking while watching this film. And it's something that is gained more appreciation over the years, and it's had better releases, and I think it's something quite unique to kind of check out in terms of Jackie Chan's filmography, and providing some information in terms of some of the stunt-based work and what Jackie Chan was thinking at the time. We're collaborating with Sammo Hung again, so a really good little extra. You also get a brand new interview with Frank Jen, which is called Nice Thoughts, which he did himself, according to the Facebook posts he talked about, which is great. About 11 minutes, him just talking about Jackie Chan's kind of real up to that point and what he was trying to do in terms of breaking into the West. Obviously, Rush Hour being his big, massive break, and doing a second attempt after kind of The Protector and Battle Street Bull was a fail. And again, just great insight. Wonderful to see him do an official, proper interview. It's weird to kind of see him on screen compared to his audio commentary. So, alongside a collection of archival extras, including an alternative end credit sequence, outtakes, text-based work, trailers, all that kind of, usual stuff that you would. So yeah, that's my thoughts and impressions on Mr. Nice Guy on the brand new Arrow video release on the 4K edition. What are your thoughts, guys? Please comment down below. So in time, guys, down for reviews. Signing out.